On Tuesday night play host to the Cincinnati Reds. Top of the first inning, first and second and one out. Todd Benzinger doubles down the right field line. Paul O'Neill and Barry Larkin score for Benzinger. It's his first RBI since the All-Star game, and it's 2-0 Cincinnati. 3-0 on a Chris Sabo ground-out RBI. And then Jeff Reed gets an RBI base hit to center field that scores Hal Morris. 4-0 Cincinnati. Willie McGee with a sacrifice fly in the bottom half of the inning, and it's 4-1 Cincinnati after one. And the Reds would score 4 more in the top half of the fourth inning. Elvis Presley had not left Busch Stadium at that time. Barry Larkin would get a base hit that scores Mariano Duncan for the second Red run of the inning. That gave Cincinnati a 6-1 lead, RBI 51 for Larkin. Todd Benzinger would then get a base hit to left field that scored Armstrong for his third RBI of the game, 42nd of the year, 7-1 Cincinnati. And the Reds lead 8-1 after 3.5. Bottom of the sixth inning, Jack Armstrong will strike out Rex Hudler. Hudler loses his bat as he whiffs on the outside pitch. Armstrong would pick up the win in this game. He ups to 12-8, and he ends a personal 5-game winless streak. 8-2 now, top of the seventh inning. Chris Sabo will drive a ball to left center field that goes over Willie McGee's head off the wall. The Cardinals work their relay and get the ball to third base, but the problem is that there'll be nobody there, and Sabo will slide into third. Pendleton is not there. The ball goes into the dugout, and Sabo trots home for the run. 9-2 Reds. They go on to win 9-4. Armstrong, the winner, he's 12-8. DeLeon, the loser, 6-12, and that was even enough for Elvis as he will leave the building.
Second Tuesday night as the Royals are hosting the Texas Rangers, and Steve Busby and Jim Sundberg are having a little fun.
Well, last night in Kansas City, the Rangers suffered a double defeat. First of all, it was Kevin Brown. The good news on Kevin, his injury is not serious, and he is believed to probably see, I got him. I look over here in the monitor. He's smiling. You got a smile going.
I guess Busby didn't see Sundberg nodding out there. And there's Fay Vincent, Commissioner of Baseball, at the game. And this one was a pitcher's duel from start and almost to the finish. Andy McGaffigan went 6 innings, allowing only 5 hits. Here he strikes out Steve Buechele in the top of the second inning. And Jamie Moyer only allowed 2 hits for Texas as he went 7 innings. Here he gets himself out of a bases-loaded jam by striking out Brian McRae, the son of Hal McRae, as he gets him swinging to end the bottom of the 7th. So Moyer pitches a 2-hitter, but does not figure in the decision. And former Major Leaguers and Kansas City Royals announcers Steve Busby and the baby-faced Jim Sundberg having some fun in the press box. Sundberg flashing some signs. Of course, he used to be a catcher with both the Rangers and the Royals. This game would remain scoreless until the bottom of the 9th inning. Leading things off for Kansas City is Jim Eisenreich, and he strokes this solo home run off of Gary Milkey to lead things off in the bottom of the 9th. And the Royals win it 1-0 despite only 3 hits. But this is the one that counts as Eisenreich blasts it over the right field wall. The Royals beat Texas 1-0 as Jamie Moyer and Gary Milkey pitch a 3-hitter, but Jim Eisenreich makes him pay with the leadoff home run to win it in the bottom of the 9th. And Fay Vincent says goodbye as the ball says goodbye as the Royals win it 1-0 over Texas on Tuesday night.
Chicago White Sox on Tuesday play host to Cedar Gaston and the second-place Toronto Blue Jays. Top of the first inning, Kelly Gruber with a base hit to center field scores Junior Felix, 1-0 Toronto. Gruber matches a career-high season RBI total with 81. It's 4-0 Toronto in the top half of the 5th inning when Kelly Gruber steps to the plate one more time. He gets a triple to center field that goes over Lance Johnson's head. Junior Felix and Tony Fernandez score. RBIs 82 and 83 for Gruber. A new career high for him. 6-0 Toronto as Gruber winds up at third base with a triple. George Bell hits his 3rd sacrifice fly on the night as he scores Gruber with this fly out to center field. The 3 sac flies ties a Major League record, 7-0 Toronto. Still in the 5th, Fred McGriff will hit his 27th home run, a solo shot to the opposite field, and this would give the Toronto Blue Jays an 8-0 lead, and that's where they lead it after 4.5 innings. Move now all the way to the top half of the 7th inning. Glenn Allen Hill will unload for a grand slam. Home run number 12 for Glenn Allen Hill, his 2nd career grand slam. RBIs 28, 29, 30, and 31 as he picks up Gruber, Bell, and Pat Borders. They gave the Blue Jays a 12-0 lead. Todd Stottlemyre was the beneficiary of all these runs here back in the 4th inning. He strikes out Carlton Fisk. Stottlemyre worked 7 innings of 2-hit ball for the Blue Jays and left with the score 12-0. Move now to the bottom of the 9th inning. Ron Karkovice would break up the shutout against Jim Acker as he gets a base hit that scores Vaughn Calderon 12-1 Toronto. Jim Acker gave up 5 straight hits to the Chicago White Sox. The Blue Jays go on to win 12-4. Stottlemyre, the winner, he's 11-13, while Greg Hibbert drops to 9-7.
A few avid Tiger fans on hand Tuesday night hoping to get the autograph of some of their favorite Detroit players before they take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Things off to a fast start. In the bottom of the first with the score tied 1-1, Gary Ward singles to center field for RBIs 34 and 35, scoring Tony Phillip and Alan Trammell, and Detroit goes up 3-1. Later in the bottom of the first, reliever Mark Lee in for Mark Knudsen, and Mark Salas goes deep off the right field wall with the bases loaded. This scores Mosby, Ward, and Shelby, and Detroit jumps out to a 6-1 lead at the end of 1 inning. But things not looking too good for Tom Troublehorn and company in the top of the third. The Brewers get 2 runs. Here with the score 6-2, Rob Deere rips a line drive single to left field, scoring Gary Sheffield. Detroit's lead's cut to 6-3. In the top of the 6th with the score still 6-3. Once again, it's Rob Deere. Here he takes reliever Paul Gibson off the upper deck facade for the moonshot home run. Deere gets his 21st home run of the year. And now the Brewers trail 6-4. But in the top of the 9th with Detroit up 6-5. Gary Sheffield facing Jerry Don Gleaton. And he takes Jerry Don way out of the park in left center field. And this ties up the ball game at 6-6 as Sheffield gets his 9th home run of the year. But later on in the top of the 9th with Frank Tanana on the mound, Mike Felder hits a sacrifice fly to right field. Big Dave Parker digs it out on home for the game-winning run as Milwaukee goes on to win 7-6. Chuck Krim gets the win. He's 3-4. Jerry Don Gleaton gets the loss. He's 1-3. As Dan Plesac picks up his 17th save of the year.
Gladden and the Minnesota Twins in town to take on the Indians. Top of the second inning after Bud Black had walked Brian Harper in with the bases loaded, making 1-0. Gladden singles into right field. That scores Kent Herbeck. But Carmen Castillo is thrown out at home as the ball gets by Sandy Alomar Jr., but Bud Black backing up on the play, throws it over, and they get Carmen Castillo for the out, but it was 2-0 Minnesota. Then in the top of the third, the Twins add 2 more. Ryan Harper with the fly out into right field. Corey Snyder looks like he has it, but he loses it in the lights. Coming around to score is Kirby Puckett. Brian Harper moves over to third on the error by Snyder. That made it 3-0 Minnesota. Harper later scored on an error on Mitch Webster that hit off his glove by Kent Herbeck. That made it 4-0. Then in the top of the 5th inning, Kent Herbeck, with 1 out and nobody on, would take Bud Black deep for a home run. That makes it 5-0 Minnesota as the Twins are rolling along in this one in the top of the 5th inning with 10 hits through 5 innings. But in the bottom of the 5th, Alex Cole, the batter against Mark Guthrie, and Cole will single into left field. That'll score Sandy Alomar Jr. and Felix Fermin. And that makes it 5-2 Minnesota. RBIs number 5 and 6 for Cole. So it's 5-2 Twins through 6 innings. In the bottom of the 9th, Sandy Alomar would ground out to score Brooke Jacoby to pull the Indians to within 1 at 5-4. Then Rick Aguilera would get Deion James to ground out to end it. The final 5-4 Minnesota. Mark Guthrie gets the win. He's 4-5. Bud Black takes the loss. He's 10-8. And Rick Aguilera gets his 25th save.
And Dykstra's wad of tobacco play host to the San Francisco Giants on Tuesday night, top of the 2nd inning. This fan chases after this Jose Uribe foul ball and falls flat in his face. 1-0 Philadelphia still in the top of the 2nd inning. Uribe laces a base hit to center field. Gary Carter rounds third base and scores RBI 23 for Uribe. This game is tied up at 1. Lenny Dykstra in the dugout picking out the remnants of his tobacco chew. Bottom of the 3rd inning, John Kruk get a base hit to left field that would score Vaughn Hayes. For Kruk, it's his 43rd RBI, and it gave the Philadelphia Phillies a 2-1 advantage. 2 on and 2 outs in the San Francisco half of the 5th inning. Will Clark will drive a ball to deep right center field. Lenny Dykstra chases it down, but it pops out of his glove. Mike Lacoste and Dave Anderson score for the Giants, 3-2 San Francisco. RBI 73 and 74 for Clark, who slides in with a triple. Move on now to the bottom of the 9th inning. Runners at 1st and 3rd for Lenny Dykstra, and he'll slap a base hit to right field off of Jeff Brantley. Dickie Thon comes in to score for the Phillies, RBI 43 for Dykstra, and it's tied up at 3. Bases full, 2 outs now, still in the 9th. John Kruk with a check swing ground out to short. That ends the inning. John Kruk jumps over Eric Gregg, and we go into extra innings. The Phillies would leave the bases loaded a couple more times in the extra innings. The cat gets on the field here. Bottom of the 13th inning, first and third, 2 outs. Steve Bedrosian on the mound for the Giants. He'll uncork a wild pitch to Dave Hollins. To the backstop, Rod Booker would score from third. 4-3 Phillies win on the wild pitch. They left 20 men on base, however, but they did come out with the win. Dennis Cook is the winner, and Steve Bedrosian is the loser. He drops to 5-7.
Nixon was the story on Tuesday night in San Diego as he reached base 5 times with 4 hits and a walk and drove in 4 runs. Top of the first inning, 1 out and nobody on. Nixon takes Dennis Rasmussen deep and gives the Expos a 1-0 lead. He added 3 more RBIs on 3 RBI singles. Top of the third inning, after Gary Templeton had tied the score at 1 apiece with 2 outs, Bip Roberts the batter as he takes a look at his bat with Mike Pagliarulo at second base and Gary Templeton at first. Dennis Martinez the pitcher, and Bip Roberts doubles into the left center field gap as Tim Raines and Otis Nixon can't come up with it. Pags and Templeton score, and that gives San Diego a 3-1 lead as they score 3 runs in the top half of the third. In the bottom of the third, Otis Nixon added an RBI single to make it 3-2. Then in the top of the fourth, Mike Fitzgerald will tie it up with this single up the middle. Scoring on the play is Andres Galarraga, and it's all tied up at 3 apiece. The next batter up to face Rasmussen in the top of the fourth with no outs would be Spike Owen. He hits this one to second baseman Roberto Alomar. He tries to tag Fitzgerald. Safe on the play is Owen, and they get Fitzgerald hung up as Templeton tags him out. Marquise Grissom scored on the play, and the Expos led it 4-3. Still in the top of the fourth with Eric Shaw now pitching in 2 outs. Otis Nixon singles in his 3rd run of the game. As Mike Owen scores on the play, that makes it 5-3 Montreal. They add 3 more in the top of the 9th and now lead it 8-3 in the 9th inning thanks to 4 RBIs and 4 hits by Otis Nixon. Dennis Martinez pitches the 5-hitter as he goes all the way for the complete game victory. Here he gets Mike Pagliarulo to bounce out to end it. The final is 8-3 Montreal. Martinez is now 9-8. Dennis Rasmussen is now 8-11. And the Montreal Expos beat San Diego on Tuesday night.